few American presidents have been as divisive and controversial as Donald Trump. Before entering politics, he was a billionaire real estate mogul, a reality TV star, and a master of branding. But in 2016, he shocked the world by winning the U.S. presidential election, promising to make America great again. His journey is unlike any other. From expanding his family's business empire to facing 2 impeachment trials as president, Trump's life has been filled with success, scandals, and political battles. While some see him as a strong leader who transformed American politics, others believe he deepened divisions in the country. But how did a businessman with no political experience become one of the most powerful leaders in the world? Stay with me until the end of this story to find out. And if you enjoy learning through inspiring biographies, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Donald John Trump was born on June 14, 1946, in Queens, New York City. He was the 4th of 5 children in the Trump family, which was already well established in the real estate business. His father, Fred Trump, was a wealthy real estate developer who built affordable housing in New York. His mother, Mary Ann MacLeod Trump, was an immigrant from Scotland who met Fred while working as a domestic servant. From an early age, Donald showed a strong personality and competitive spirit. His parents sent him to the New York Military Academy at the age of 13 to improve his discipline. While there, he excelled in sports and leadership, but also developed a tough, aggressive mindset that would later define his business and political career. After high school, Trump attended Fordham University before transferring to the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania, where he studied economics and real estate. He graduated in 1968 and soon joined the family business, the Trump Organization. With a loan of about $1 million from his father, he began expanding the company's projects beyond Brooklyn and Queens into Manhattan's luxury real estate market. During the 1970s and 1980s, Trump gained fame for developing high-end hotels, casinos, and office buildings. He built some of the most recognizable properties in New York, including Trump Tower, a skyscraper on Fifth Avenue that became a symbol of his ambition and success. He also expanded his business into Atlantic City's casino industry, launching the Trump Plaza, Trump Castle, and Trump Taj Mahal. Trump was not just a businessman, he was a master of self-promotion. He made himself the face of his brand, appearing on talk shows, magazine covers, and even cameo roles in movies and TV shows. In 1987, he published his first book, The Art of the Deal, which became a bestseller and reinforced his image as a tough, successful businessman. However, not everything was perfect. In the 1990s, Trump's business empire faced major financial difficulties. Several of his casinos and hotels declared bankruptcy, forcing him to restructure debts and sell assets. Despite these setbacks, he managed to recover, using his name as a powerful brand to license products, hotels, and even a university. In 2004, Trump took his fame to a new level by becoming the host of the reality TV show The Apprentice. The show, where contestants competed for a job at the Trump Organization, was a massive success. His catchphrase "You're fired" became a cultural phenomenon, turning him into a household name far beyond the world of real estate. By the 2010s, Donald Trump was no longer just a businessman, he was a celebrity. His name was associated with luxury, power, and controversy. But no one expected that he would take his brand beyond business and into the world of politics. By the mid-2010s, Donald Trump was already a well-known businessman and TV personality. However, in 2015, he made a move that shocked the world. He announced his candidacy for President of the United States. Many people saw it as a publicity stunt, but Trump was serious. His campaign slogan, "Make America Great Again," quickly became a rallying cry for millions of Americans who felt left behind by the political establishment. During the Republican primaries, Trump competed against experienced politicians like Jeb Bush, Ted Cruz, and Marco Rubio. However, his direct and aggressive communication style, as well as his ability to dominate media coverage, made him stand out. His speeches focused on economic nationalism, border security, and bringing back jobs to America. He promised to build a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border and renegotiate trade deals that he claimed were hurting American workers. Despite strong opposition from both the Democratic Party and many Republicans, Trump won the Republican nomination. In the 2016 general election, he faced Hillary Clinton, a former First Lady, Senator, and Secretary of State. The campaign was one of the most divisive in U.S. history, filled with controversies, heated debates, and accusations from both sides. In November 2016, against the expectations of most political analysts and media outlets, Donald Trump won the presidency, securing 304 electoral votes against Clinton's 227. His victory sent shockwaves across the world, as he became the first U.S. president with no prior political or military experience. Trump took office on January 20, 2017, and quickly began implementing his agenda. Some of his most notable actions included tax cuts and economic growth. Trump signed the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017, reducing corporate and individual tax rates. Supporters praised it for boosting business investments, while critics argued it favored the wealthy. Deregulation. His administration rolled back many business and environmental regulations, aiming to promote economic growth. Supreme Court appointments. He appointed 3 conservative justices to the Supreme Court, Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett, shaping U.S. law for decades. Foreign policy. He withdrew the U.S. from international agreements, including the Paris Climate Accord and the Iran nuclear deal. Trade war with China. Trump imposed tariffs on Chinese goods, claiming it was necessary to protect American businesses. This led to a trade war that impacted global markets. Immigration policies. He implemented strict immigration measures, including the controversial family separation policy at the border. His administration also placed travel bans on several Muslim-majority countries. Trump's presidency was marked by constant controversies. His Twitter account became a central tool for communication, often leading to media storms. He was accused of spreading misinformation, attacking political opponents, and fueling division in the country. One of the biggest scandals of his presidency was the Russia investigation. U.S. intelligence agencies found evidence that Russia had interfered in the 2016 election to benefit Trump. This led to a 2-year-long investigation by special counsel Robert Mueller. Although Trump was not directly charged with collusion, the investigation fueled deep political divisions. Despite the controversies, Trump maintained a strong and loyal base of supporters. His rallies drew massive crowds, and he positioned himself as a fighter against the political establishment. However, as his first term came to an end, he faced 2 major crises, the COVID-19 pandemic and his first impeachment. These events would shape the final year of his presidency and set the stage for an even more contentious 2020 election. Donald Trump's presidency was one of the most controversial in modern U.S. history. While his supporters saw him as a bold outsider challenging the political system, his critics accused him of dividing the country, undermining democratic institutions, and abusing his power. His time in office was marked by 2 historic impeachments, multiple scandals, and constant media battles. In 2019, Trump faced his first impeachment, making him the 3rd U.S. president in history to be impeached. The controversy centered around a phone call between Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Trump allegedly pressured Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden and his son, Hunter Biden, in exchange for military aid and a White House visit. He also blocked White House officials from testifying and refused to cooperate with the investigation, leading to an additional charge of obstruction of Congress. In December 2019, the House of Representatives, controlled by Democrats, voted to impeach Trump. However, in February 2020, the Republican-controlled Senate acquitted him, allowing him to remain in office. As Trump was dealing with impeachment, another crisis hit, the COVID-19 pandemic. His handling of the pandemic became one of the most debated aspects of his presidency. His administration pushed for rapid vaccine development through Operation Warp Speed, which resulted in the creation of multiple vaccines in record time. However, he was widely criticized for downplaying the severity of the virus in early 2020, conflicting messages about masks and public health measures, and pushing unproven treatments, including hydroxychloroquine. The pandemic caused a major economic crisis, with millions of job losses and businesses shutting down. As the 2020 election approached, Trump's approval ratings were impacted by the crisis. In November 2020, Trump ran for re-election against Joe Biden. After a highly polarized campaign, Biden won the election with 306 electoral votes to Trump's 232. However, Trump refused to accept the results, claiming without evidence that the election was rigged. He and his allies launched multiple legal challenges, but courts repeatedly dismissed the cases due to lack of evidence. His Stop the Steal movement gained traction among his supporters, leading to growing tensions across the country. On January 6, 2021, a violent mob of Trump supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol in an attempt to stop Congress from certifying Biden's victory. The attack led to 5 deaths and widespread destruction, marking one of the darkest days in modern U.S. history. Shortly before the riot, Trump had spoken at a rally, telling his supporters to fight like hell. Many lawmakers accused him of inciting an insurrection. Just days before leaving office, the House of Representatives voted to impeach Trump for a second time, making him the only U.S. president to be impeached twice. However, in February 2021, the Senate acquitted Trump again, as most Republican senators refused to convict him. Despite leaving office under a cloud of controversy, Trump remained one of the most influential figures in American politics. But what would he do next? His post-presidency would prove to be just as eventful as his time in office. Donald Trump's presidency left a lasting impact on the United States, with policies that transformed the economy, immigration system, and foreign relations. His supporters argue that he revitalized the economy, strengthened national security, and reshaped the judiciary, while his critics believe he deepened political divisions and damaged the country's international reputation. Whether seen as a champion of conservative values or a disruptive force, his legacy remains one of the most debated in modern history. One of Trump's major focuses was the U.S. economy. Early in his presidency, he signed the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017, reducing corporate and individual tax rates. Supporters praised the move, claiming it boosted investments and economic growth, while critics argued it benefited the wealthy and increased the national deficit. His administration also deregulated industries, removing environmental and business restrictions to stimulate job creation. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, the U.S. experienced record low unemployment rates, and the stock market reached all-time highs. However, the pandemic in 2020 led to a massive economic downturn, undoing much of the previous growth. Immigration was one of Trump's most controversial policy areas. His promise to build the wall along the U.S.-Mexico border became a defining message of his campaign. While his administration expanded the border wall, most of it consisted of repairs or replacements of existing barriers. He also enacted strict immigration policies, including the travel ban on several Muslim-majority countries and the zero-tolerance policy, which led to the separation of migrant families at the border. Critics labeled these policies as inhumane, while supporters saw them as necessary measures to protect national security. Trump's foreign policy was marked by his America First approach, prioritizing U.S. interests over international cooperation. He withdrew the country from several global agreements, including the Paris Climate Accord and the Iran nuclear deal, arguing that they were unfair to the U.S. His administration also redefined relationships with major powers, engaging in a trade war with China, imposing tariffs to pressure Beijing into more favorable trade terms. Meanwhile, Trump became the first sitting U.S. president to meet with a North Korean leader, holding historic summits with Kim Jong-un, though no long-term agreements were reached. His presidency saw the controversial recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital, a move that pleased Israel but intensified conflicts in the Middle East. One of Trump's most enduring legacies was his impact on the U.S. judiciary. He appointed 3 conservative justices to the Supreme Court, shifting the court to the right for decades. His administration also appointed hundreds of federal judges, ensuring a strong conservative influence in the judicial system. These appointments played a key role in major rulings on abortion rights, gun laws, and religious freedoms. Throughout his presidency, Trump remained a divisive figure. His aggressive rhetoric, frequent attacks on the media, and unfiltered social media presence fueled deep polarization. His speeches often criticized Democrats, the FBI, and the fake news media, reinforcing the loyalty of his supporters while intensifying opposition from critics. His use of Twitter became a central aspect of his presidency, allowing him to speak directly to the public but also leading to numerous controversies. As Trump left office, the country was more politically divided than ever. His policies had reshaped America, and his influence on the Republican Party remained strong. However, his story was far from over. Even after leaving the White House, he continued to dominate headlines, setting the stage for one of the most dramatic post-presidencies in U.S. history. Donald Trump left the White House on January 20, 2021, but his influence on American politics did not fade. Unlike most former presidents who step away from public life, Trump remained at the center of the national conversation, continuing to shape the Republican Party and conservative movement. His post-presidency was marked by ongoing legal battles, social media controversies, and preparations for an unprecedented return to power. One of the most dramatic moments following his presidency was his ban from major social media platforms. In the aftermath of the January 6 Capitol riot, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube suspended his accounts, citing concerns over the spread of misinformation and incitement of violence. These bans limited his direct communication with supporters, but he soon found new ways to stay relevant. In 2022, he launched Truth Social, his own social media platform, which became a space for his followers and a tool for his political messaging. Legal troubles also followed him after leaving office. He faced multiple investigations, including allegations of attempting to overturn the 2020 election results, possession of classified documents at Mar-a-Lago, and financial misconduct in his business dealings. Despite these legal challenges, his core base remained loyal, seeing the investigations as politically motivated attacks. Trump continued to hold rallies across the country, maintaining his connection with supporters and endorsing candidates in key elections. His influence on the Republican Party remained strong, with many politicians seeking his approval. In the 2022 midterm elections, he backed numerous candidates who shared his America First ideology. However, the Republican Party faced mixed results, leading to debates about whether Trump was still the best leader for the conservative movement. As speculation grew about his next move, Trump made a historic announcement on November 15, 2022, he was running for president again in 2024. This decision was unprecedented, as only one other former U.S. president, Grover Cleveland, had ever won a non-consecutive second term. His campaign focused on reviving his first-term policies, reversing Biden's agenda, and claiming that the 2020 election had been unfair. The 2024 election presented new challenges. Within the Republican Party, Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, emerged as a major competitor, representing a younger and more disciplined version of Trump's ideology. Some conservatives believed it was time for new leadership, while others insisted that Trump was the only one who could defeat the Democrats. On the Democratic side, Joe Biden announced his bid for re-election, setting up the possibility of a rematch between the two rivals. Despite the controversies and political resistance, Trump remained a dominant figure in American politics. His ability to mobilize voters, command media attention, and shape national debates ensured that his influence would not fade anytime soon. In 2025, Trump returned to the White House after winning the presidential election, marking one of the most significant political comebacks in U.S. history. His second term focused on reinstating his signature policies and pushing for new reforms that aligned with his vision of America First. One of the defining moments of his inauguration was the presence of Mark Zuckerberg, who attended the ceremony amid speculation about renewed ties between Trump and Silicon Valley. Shortly after the inauguration, Facebook officially reinstated Trump's accounts, signaling a shift in big tech's approach to his presence on social media. With a new mandate, Trump solidified his role as one of the most influential leaders in modern history. His policies, media strategy, and impact on the Republican Party ensured that his presence in American politics would remain strong for years to come. Beyond politics and business, Donald Trump's personal life has been a topic of public fascination for decades. His family, lifestyle, and personality have played a crucial role in shaping his public image. Whether admired or criticized, he remains one of the most recognizable figures in modern history, with a legacy that extends beyond his time in office. Trump has been married 3 times. His first wife, Ivana Trump, was a Czech-American businesswoman and model. The couple married in 1977 and had 3 children together, Donald Trump Jr., Ivanka Trump, and Eric Trump. Ivana played a key role in Trump's business empire during the 1980s, but their marriage ended in a highly publicized divorce in 1992. Shortly after, he married Marla Maples, an actress and television personality, with whom he had 1 daughter, Tiffany Trump. Their marriage lasted until 1999. In 2005, he married Melania Trump, a Slovenian model, who later became First Lady of the United States. Together, they have 1 son, Barron Trump. Throughout his life, Trump has built a reputation as a larger-than-life personality, known for his confidence, bold statements, and ability to command attention. His influence goes far beyond politics. He has shaped pop culture, media, and the way politicians communicate with the public. His presence in television, books, and business ventures made him a household name long before he entered the White House. His relationship with the media has been one of the most complex aspects of his influence. While he has often criticized mainstream news outlets, calling them fake news, he has also mastered the art of media manipulation, using controversy to stay in the headlines. His ability to dominate the news cycle, whether through policies, personal attacks, or social media posts, has set a new standard for modern political figures. Trump's global influence is also undeniable. While many world leaders viewed his presidency with skepticism, others saw him as a powerful disruptor who challenged traditional political norms. His unique style of diplomacy, whether engaging in direct talks with North Korea or imposing tariffs on China, redefined how U.S. foreign policy was conducted. Within the Republican Party, Trump remains a central figure. His brand of politics, often referred to as Trumpism, continues to shape the party's direction. Even after leaving office, his endorsement remains one of the most sought-after assets in conservative politics. Some Republicans view him as the party's strongest leader, while others worry that his controversies could hurt the party's future. Beyond politics, Trump's influence on American culture and identity is significant. To his supporters, he represents strength, nationalism, and a rejection of political elites. To his critics, he symbolizes division, populism, and a challenge to democratic norms. Regardless of the perspective, few figures in history have had such a polarizing and long-lasting impact. Even as new political figures emerge, Trump's influence is unlikely to disappear. His ability to connect with his base, shape political narratives, and challenge traditional institutions ensures that he will remain a defining figure for years to come. Whether in politics, business, or media, Donald Trump's story is far from over. Donald Trump's journey from a real estate mogul to the presidency of the United States is one of the most remarkable and controversial stories in modern history. His impact on politics, business, and media has left a lasting mark, shaping the way leaders communicate and how political movements are built. Whether seen as a visionary who fought against the establishment or as a divisive figure who reshaped American democracy, his influence cannot be denied. His policies, leadership style, and ability to connect with his supporters have ensured that his name will be remembered for generations. What do you think was Trump's most significant impact? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this story and want to keep improving your English, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Do you want to improve your English 20x faster? Whether it's grammar, conversation, or fluency, we have the perfect material for you. Click the link in the description or the first pinned comment and take your English to the next level.